Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of
Talking Books and Shit.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Johanna.
And today we have a special, it's not even that special.
They're all special.
We have a cool book for you. It's American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I got this because she wanted to waste money.
Buy this. I already own this, but I wanted to buy this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's by Neil Gaiman. It's probably one of his most popular
I think.
books.
I think this is his like masterpiece work type of thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's getting a TV show out of it, so it's pretty good.
It's like his big epic novel about everything.
Why is that funny?
You know, the interesting thing about the editions that we read was that Danny read the regular one that I think this is the edition that they first published it in, and then this is a later edition with like I don't know if you can see that, but this author's preferred text, which has like I think a good 85,000 words.
This one has his face on it, and this totally creeps Joanna out.
Look how handsome he looks.
She's always like, "Oh my God, he's staring into my soul."
Yeah.
And that's why she gave it away. So, if you ever plan on publishing a book, don't put your face in the back. You know, maybe on the inside jacket or something like that. But I don't want to.
Stephen King does that a lot too.
Yeah.
With his books.
Yeah, but you're just on the bus, right? You're just reading on the train, and you're like this, and then other people just have to look at this fucking guy, right?
Exactly.
Oh, we blew 2 minutes on that. That's off the flying start.
Top-notch analysis.
Alright, so let's tell the fine folks at home what this book is about.
It's hard to say, man.
No, it's not.
No, but you gotta not. Well, okay, we don't care about spoilers, do we?
Alright, brief synopsis. How about we do that? There's a guy. He's in prison. Yeah, he gets out of prison, and there's a mysterious figure following him around and trying to hire him for a job. You know, it's like, there's a war coming. You know.
Yeah, and the guy just gotten out of prison and lost his wife and his best friend in a car crash. So he kind of has nothing left going on in his life. You know, so eventually he was like, "Fine, I'll work for you." And
yeah, okay, first off, his name is Shadow, which I thought was kind of... What's his real name? Is it...
I think the point was that you never know.
That was the point?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was something like Frederick or something. Frederick Shadow. You know, maybe he needed a prison name. Was that what people called him before? No, his wife calls him Shadow, so he'd been calling himself Shadow.
No, there's a part in the book where he talks about he adopted the name Shadow because when he was little, he'd follow people around. Oh. And he was really silent and stuff. And he was much smaller than like he's actually a big guy in the novel.
Like a big, yoked up guy. So like this weird old man named Mr. Wednesday, which is kind of weird. Recruits him to be like his muscle and just run errands for him and shit like that. And meanwhile, they're traveling all across America, like talking to Mr. Nancy and Mr.
Zernabog.
Yeah.
There is
the Puchanaya sisters.
I just call them the Yaya sisters.
The Yaya sisters.
The Yaya sisters.
Yaya sisters.
But they're all basically like loose representations of actual gods, like in various like mythologies.
Yep.
Yeah. So you get to see a whole lot of Egyptian gods as like you know characters.
So the idea is that gods only exist when people believe in them, and when people came to America, like what happened to all those gods, right? Well, they took their gods with them, and they kind of manifest themselves in these I guess human forms. Working like kind of like everyday jobs. Like there's a genie and he's a cab driver and he's gay. None of all that.
Yeah, what do you think about the gay genie?
We'll talk about that later. Let's get back on track, okay? But anyways, these gods need people worshiping them, and as time goes on, you just forget, right? You just forget, and they're losing all their powers to like these new gods of like technology, like the internet, television,
media. I know
media.
Media was one.
Stone, wood, town.
Those were gods. Those are just the people working for the gods.
Really? Wait. I
so.
thought no. I thought they were supposed to be the new gods, because I thought that was the whole thing. Like they're the new generation, and that's what people worship nowadays.
Well, I guess I guess those guys would represent like industrialism and stuff.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's like a huge clash. So the old gods are trying to keep their ways, and the new gods are like killing them off. And like trying to start a war and all that, right? And for a while, you don't know what Shadow's role is in all this. He even gets stashed away in like some weird suburban town that's doing really well in the middle of nowhere, but you're not really sure why. And in it, he sprinkles all these like little short stories about like 10 pages on just like a little short story about really obscure gods. Yeah.
And the people, like, I feel like a lot of the gods that he talks about are pretty obscure, I feel like, except for like a handful.
Yeah. But, so okay, we find out that there's Odin is Mr. Wednesday, just calls himself Wednesday. And Loki, well, literally Low, and then key as in like a key to open a door. That's
spoilers.
Loki. That's Loki.
But that's
And there's a Mr. Nancy. That's Anansi. The spider. I don't know why I said it like that. That wasn't even a good accent. Anansi, the spider. I remember that just because back in like 11th or 12th grade, we had. My friend Jared and Carl got to participate in the Black History Month assembly, and Jared and Carl are both white guys.
Okay.
But they could do wicked Jamaican accents. Not that we didn't have black kids in our school, but they're just really funny, and the black kids love them. So they taught everyone the story of Anansi the spider in a Jamaican accent.
Oh, I didn't even know who he was. Until I read this
he's
book.
A crafty, like, storyteller kind of god. Oh, they even have the Native American gods and stuff like that. So
like I know in the novel they call him Whiskey Jack, but it sounds like it's
Wasake Jack.
Something like that.
It's supposed to be like that. Wasake Jack.
Wasake Jack.
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah.
So okay. His wife is very important to stories. Because turns out that she was sucking his best friend's cock in a car, and
they crashed because she was giving him roadhead, and
there's actually a mother's advocacy group against roadhead.
That's why you should never give roadhead.
I donate to that charity every year. I do benefits for them. Yeah, MARH, Mar. Mothers Against Roadhead.
Really? It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Anyways, of America. It's a big problem there. Every year, 6 people die from roadhead and roadhead-related injuries.
You're really passionate about this cause. I notice.
Alright, let's keep talking about the story. Let's keep talking. Let's keep talking about
the worst video yet.
Am I joking around too much? We're not editing this. We don't edit.
It's your fault for opening up the video. You know what you were getting into.
Anyways.
Sorry.
More on American gods. Okay, so this is... if you've ever read the comic book Fable, where, you have, like, those storybook characters living in, like, the Bronx or Queens in New York City among humans, this is what it's kind of like. Except there's, bigger overarching plot where, these guys are trying to kill each other. And, so the bulk of the story is Wednesday bringing Shadow around to recruit all these gods to prepare for the war, and a lot of gods are just like, no man, we're gonna get slaughtered. Why are we doing this, right?
And a lot of them also kind of deny that it's going on. Like, Easter was all, no, but everyone still celebrates my holiday, but nobody knows, like, its origins and all that stuff.
Yeah. Pagan holiday.
So a lot of them are in denial that they're no longer relevant.
Yeah, so. Had nothing to do with Jesus Christ.
Oh, interesting. I think it's only in my edition, but, okay. There's a scene at the end that he writes that represents that it's basically Shadow meeting Jesus.
Jesus?
Yeah, but he was like he mentions here, like in the appendix, that he wanted to write Jesus into the novel because how do you write a book about American gods without Jesus in it?
Well, my take on that whole thing was that Jesus is so powerful that he's still a god because he's got so many worshippers that he isn't culminated into. I feel like you only become into like this shell of a human form when like people start forgetting you and you really gotta go out and hustle.
Okay.
That's what I thought, but.
Well,
I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, media and stuff is really powerful, but she was a human form here, and so was who else? What other new gods did they?
Mr. Stone and Mr. Wood.
Yeah, they're all in human form as well. So I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe Jesus just doesn't want to get caught up in that shit,
Okay. So, anyways, big war coming. They're trying to recruit gods. A lot of people don't want to. And, they're the whole time they're after Shadow and Wednesday, right? And, capture Wednesday, blow his freaking brains out. Spoiler alert. Usually you gotta say that before, but I'm not good at that, sorry. We'll just put it in the description. Anyways, and this just sets off the whole thing, and it's all, like, chaotic and stuff, and people are like, they killed Wednesday, here they killed Wednesday, alright, let's go get those guys, right? And then there's a big battle, and you realize that Odin / Wednesday was behind the whole thing the whole time, and that it was his way of getting like a blood sacrifice, and that like when these he was actually on both sides of the whole of the coin, I guess, both sides of the coin, him all on playing both of them, and he just needed blood to be spilled, and Loki was working along with him, and he feeds on the chaos from the whole thing. And and in the end, everyone had been fooled, but Shadow goes back and warns people, and they stop fighting. And they were all
like, oh, okay, well, fuck that. All right, bye, guys. So they never ended up fighting, and Odin just never came to be after that.
Did he not? I thought he... No,
at the end. You're talking about the end, right?
Where
he meets...
No, well, that's European Wednesday, but I thought, like, Odin just never showed up again, but he got what he wanted afterwards, because they did fight, like, it's not like no one died in the battle.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but I mean, it wasn't a large-scale battle like he wanted to, I think, so he didn't, I guess he didn't come back.
Yeah.
He wanted to come back stronger, is I think what he wanted to do, but then Shadow kind of stopped it. That was, Yeah,
and then, Shadow hangs out in Europe and meets the European Odin, which is kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And turns out this guy's not the same because, there's more worshippers over there and he's in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
I thought
I feel like I'm not selling the book enough. The book, the whole overarching plot, not as, it's kind of almost, I'd say, even tacky.
I think it's the journey. I think it's the journey that makes the book so good. Like, you already know, it's a simple storyline if you think about it, but I think it's just the fact that a lot of his, when I was reading the beginning, I was really, really astounded because I was like, wow, every character is a reference. Every sentence is like a metaphor. Wow. And, well, not every sentence, but there's always one. There's one everywhere in every page. So I was kind of That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the little short segments of like just like a short story about a god or just that a lot of people on the internet, they shit on that chapter or that whole part where he's in that little suburban town, but
I enjoyed
felt
that
like
part.
a nice little story within a story, and a lot of people thought it was filler, and then you get to the end, you're like, oh my god, that was pretty cool.
I thought that was a nice part though.
Yeah,
I liked
that's
it.
probably my favorite part.
It was
The whole
cozy.
mystery of there's like a mystery of missing kids in that whole suburban town.
Yeah. This
And,
book is like a lot of different stories in one story, you know?
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, and there is a gay genie, so we'll get back to that. That's one of the short stories they write about like miscellaneous gods and stuff. And it was a story of a dude, and he's been sent here by his sister and his brother-in-law to sell toys.
Afghanistan or something? Or is it Pakistan?
I can't remember exactly, but he's supposed to sell like toys, it's like a trinket factory.
Mm-hmm.
And life sucks, and then he meets the genie, and then they have sex, and
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to find out where he was from.
yeah.
Just some sort of, I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East. Doesn't say.
It was really gratuitous, because I was just
I
at work. I was
know.
at a job just reading and enjoying my spare time and all that. And I was like, oh, jeez. And then, everyone else is just hanging out, and I've got, like, these images of, like, cock and semen in my head.
You know what?
And you just gotta keep a straight face. You gotta keep a straight face.
Got me the first time I read this twice. This is my second time reading it, but the first time I read it, this was the scene I remembered 100% clearly because it was so fucking weird. It was like in the beginning where that prostitute, I forgot her name, but there's a prostitute. Oh, okay. Balkis, there we go. She was having sex with a dude.
She's a hooker.
And her vagina ate him up.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Like just.
Like it was so fucking
swallowed him like I don't even know what's.
I think the moment I read that scene, I was like, this book is gonna be so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it was. But that was like by far the weirdest thing I've ever read.
That was pretty weird. But you know what? The sex scenes,
they're detailed.
I'm just trying to decide. I mean, it's progressive and all.
Yeah.
Good on him, because no one else writes. Very few people will just throw in a gay sex scene.
I know, that's true.
In a book, right?
But that's the whole point of jinns, though, isn't it? Like the whole lore of the jinns, where like they have sex with people and stuff, but it puts them in a trance and stuff, and they like having sex with them like kills their soul.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, so color me ignorant.
I don't know. I might be wrong.
All right,
Shoot.
so I guess it's kind of related.
I read that from somewhere else, so.
Yeah. It was just one of those things that was just kind of out in left field.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of get it, but I think like plus points to him for writing a gay character to have sex with a genie. So that's yeah, cool. Very progressive.
I just remember him writing down like the cum of the genie was like liquid, like fire. Like the genie just came fire ants down his throat or something.
It was down his throat. Jeez.
He swallowed. He's a gentleman.
Oh jeez.
This is the most.
This is the most scattered review ever. We're already like 19 minutes in. All we've talked about is a gay genie.
I'm dancing around this so much. I'm like, the thing is, that scene, it was in there. It didn't bug me that much. But I feel like I'm gonna like a fucking homophobe for saying, why is this here? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what you were trying to say.
I'm not homophobic, but it's just.
I guess it's just to add diversity. I suppose.
You just go. All right, cool.
To add diversity, I suppose. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Then I mean, that didn't advance the plot line any more than freaking vagina eater,
Yeah.
Pussy eater.
But the thing about... What was I going to say? Oh, jeez. I forgot what I was going to say. The thing about this book is that a lot of weird shit happens, but I feel like I don't get half of why they happen. Like, some of them I'm like, oh, I get why it happened like that. Like, I kind of understand it, but there's so many where it's like, I don't understand, but okay, I'm gonna go with it. And I think it's because Neil Gaiman is too smart for me. Like, he's too smarter than the rest of us, and that's why some people will come out of it like, I don't get it.
He's just real. I think, you know, a lot of it is he's so multicultural about the gods.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are kind of obvious, but a lot of them I had to go on Wikipedia and hey, what's this guy about? You know, stuff like that.
There's all sorts. Like, there's Norse gods,
there's Norse, you got Egyptian, you got Native Americans, you got I don't even know where Zernabog fits in. Is he also Norse?
Well, no, not Welsh. Sorry, guys.
You got African gods. You got you know, the Jamaican gods. You got no Chinese gods, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Or was there one? I think there might have been one.
I'm not too sure.
Like, they just kind of sprinkled in the background when it was like all the gods were meeting and preparing for battle and stuff.
Oh, there was a Japanese god in there as well.
Something like that,
yeah. So, yeah. But I think he's really, really intelligent. He's smarter than us.
No, he's not.
And this book was really well researched, I feel like. I think the point he was trying to make, that's why I like this book so much. Like, the point he was trying to make was that, I think, well, maybe he tries to make a ton of different points, and maybe they all just go over my head. But the one that I got was that, there's a line in there that talks about how, like, one of the gods, tells Shadow that they need to exist because people need to make sense of shadows in the cave walls or something like that. And I was like, that's so fucking true.
Oh, shadows in the cave wall, that's fucking Plato's cave.
Yeah.
Do you know that allegory?
No, don't.
God, you know, I'm gonna explain it wrong and I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but it's I guess it's kind of like a metaphor for knowledge and how we can know what we know. When, you know, and Plato makes like this whole allegory where like guys are just chained up to a cave and all they see are like there's a fire and then there's like the shadows dancing on the walls, and like they think that the shadows are the actual objects and not the objects casting the shadow. And if one of these guys, you freed them and like let them go out and explore the world, and he's like, oh my god, then, you know, the things on the shadow are actually, you know, the objects, yada yada yada, and he tried to explain it to his friends were like, no, they're not, you know. But
it's interesting.
Something about making sense of the world.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I
So
that's kind of what I was
gods
getting
are
from
how people explain things. Like there's an earthquake, I was like, fuck, you know, fucking Earth God is mad, and instead of you know, plate tectonics and magma and sublimation and, you know, Earth's crusts.
I took
folding.
I didn't think of the gods in the book as gods. I thought of them more as like a set of mythologies that people believed in, not necessarily gods. But like, because I took a mythology course like a long time ago, and we talked about how like people will think of like reasons why, like, okay, I don't know how to explain it, but like if you're living way back when and you're a hunter, you know, and you've got to kill an animal, there's always going to be that moment where you're like, well, why do I have to kill this animal? It's only so I can live, and that's hard to deal with. I would find it hard to deal with if I had that moment. Like, why do I have to exist like this, like killing other things to make sure that I keep living? And that's kind of why they invented the whole, like, you know, these bulls that we're killing are gods, and they're giving us, you know, like they're giving us sustenance and clothing and all that stuff. It's kind of to make sense of all this
in
shit that we do.
We worship them so that spiritually they're...
Like, we kill them, yes, but then we worship them and we say thank you because... So, like, that's kind of like our way of making sense of this shit, you know? So... Yeah, so that was kind of cool. I think that was what, like, I think one of the things that Neil Gaiman is trying to say is that there's going to be old gods and there's going to be new gods, but there's always going to be gods because we're always so fucking confused. No, I mean.
In conclusion, we're gonna be confused. Fucking confused. Alright. What would you think of how would you how would you rate it? How many bookmarks would you give this out of 5 bookmarks?
How many out of 5 bookmarks? I would give it 6 bookmarks.
6 bookmarks.
Yeah, it's really fucking
much?
good. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think he's really unassuming in the way he writes, so it makes it kind of more powerful for me. He's not overly flowery. He just kind of tells it like it is. He doesn't talk too much about like it doesn't feel sentimental, you know what I mean? But like yet you're feeling so many things like while you're reading it. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. You know the thing, I had that thing where I read a book and then I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. For like, it's almost like, you know, when you close a book, you're like, fuck, it's over. That's it. You know, you want it to be more. And but now that for you read it after I did. I mean, you reread it after I did. So for me now, I guess it's not as fresh because I just saw Logan and that was a badass movie.
So Logan ruined this.
You know, there's like a line and it's just towards a cliff, and Logan just bumps American Gods off the cliff and fell down, and Logan's next in line for the next thing, you know, that I obsess over. It'll probably be Game of Thrones.
Even that good.
What? I liked it.
Where did Logan come from? Just ruining my loves.
Alright, anyways, yeah, for me this is like 4 out of 5. I actually like, you know, I don't know if I like Ocean at the End of the Lane more than this book.
Oh, I definitely like Ocean at the End of the Lane better than this book.
So that'd be like 7 out of 5.
10 out of 5.
10 out of 5.
No, but this is really up there. Like they're both 5 for me out of 5, but this is. That one is always going to be like number 1, I think.
This is a fun read.
But this is up there for me.
Yeah, this is a good mix of humor in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
It's pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like darkly funny.
I guess it's just nice to fantasize once in a while, and this is kind of like modern day with like. Kind of bridges the two between just reality and fantasy. I kind of like the Blur where it's not complete Lord of the Rings, you know. So interesting concept. Yeah, good book. Good book.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I obviously liked it way more than you did.
Did you have any like compelling moments while reading the book?
So many things. I think one, like I had to close the book because I couldn't breathe. But one was like when he was getting his soul weighed against that really heavy feather.
Oh yeah, that was a really cool scene where basically after Wednesday dies, he does this whole ritual where Shadow ties himself up against a tree and. Do they cut him to bleed him? I can't remember that, but I know he has no food or water for 9 days or something like that.
I think it was just the pressure of his body, like not being able to support the rest. Like the way he was hanging was kind of like being crucified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice,
yeah.
But so he's just hanging there for days, and then he's just zoning out. He's so dehydrated and stuff, and then like he has like weird, crazy visions, and he's in the afterworld. The Egyptian underworld, actually, you know, with Anubis, and Anubis is there, and Horus was there as well, you know, like all these other gods. So that was a really cool scene. Yeah,
yeah, that was really. It was like large, like that felt so large. That scene felt so heavy. And then at the end, when they were like, he passed the whole feather test, and they were like asking Shadow. Well, what would you like to do? You can do whatever the hell you want. And you passed the test, and he was like, I just want to rest. And I felt so fucking sad for him. You know? Gosh, he was just like, I just want nothing. That was so sad.
Oh, man. I think this is one of those times where you love a book way more than I do.
Yeah. I got real.
6 out of 5 is 120%.
5. It's 5 out of 5. It's pretty damn good, though.
Yeah. Anything else you want to tell the friends and family at home?
Read it.
Read it.
Read it. Although I get that it's not for everybody. But I think it's worth a try.
Yeah. Would you say if you like Stephen King, you'll like Neil Gaiman?
No, Stephen King is... No, the themes are different, I feel like.
This is a little more whimsical and magical and kind of... Stephen King's darker.
Yeah, well, this is pretty dark, too. But it's more, yeah. I don't really know who I can compare Neil Gaiman to, though. He's kind of his own
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got his own style.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's been this episode of Talking Books and Shit, unless you got anything else to say?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Bye. Wait, where's the mouse?